The Pulse of Spokane is a broad show that showcases many different things in our community, sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.
Hi there, and welcome to the Pulse of Spokane. I have Kevin Walker here with me. How are you, Kevin?
I'm so good, Emma. Thanks for asking. How are you?
Good first virtual test. Here we are. So you, Kevin, are the Director of Sales and Clinical Services at Medication Review Incorporated, correct?
That's exactly right.
Amazing. Why don't you what does that mean? That's a big, long title. Let's break it down a little.
Yeah, no, there's lots of words plugged in there. So for me, my role has kind of changed recently. I am a pharmacist by training, and now with Medication Review, and I'll kind of go over the company, I guess, in general later. But with Medication Review, it's a group of pharmacists, a pharmacy-based company, and offering pharmacy solutions. So my current role is to develop what the role of a pharmacist is in modern-day healthcare, and kind of advance that with advancing technologies and advancing roles. And so both the sales and clinical services lead to me doing a lot of education, talking to a lot of folks in the healthcare world that are making some of these financial decisions to incorporate pharmacists. And then I get to do both the sales piece and the educational piece to move us to the next step.
Awesome. So when you're doing, such teaching and all that, are you physically going into the hospitals? I'm sure right now, if you do so, that's not possible. Kind of how does that look day to day in your teaching and kind of skill giving to other medical professionals? Yeah.
So when letting folks know about the services that we currently offer with Medication Review and the pharmacists that we have on the team, which is just a really incredible group. Usually I am traveling from place to place and seeing folks inside of their hospitals and clinic settings, even sometimes traveling to large businesses with another suite of services that we do. But with COVID-19 going on right now, that's not a possibility. So we've been doing lots of phone calls, lots of Zoom meetings, and still trying to work with our clients and all the folks that we care about.
Great. And then I know you mentioned, obviously, you were a pharmacist, you're dealing with pharmaceutical stuff. What kind of led you there? What was your background in all of this? Did you know you wanted to be in medicine all this time? What has gotten you to where you are now?
So Emma, when I was sitting as a high school student thinking about what is my prospective career, I really loved chemistry and biology. And I thought, hey, great, let's pursue something in medicine in general. So I thought drug and disease research. My grandfather had passed away of cancer when I was in middle school. And so it really inspired me to think, let's go down this trail and see what I can find. So upon going to WSU, I worked in a research laboratory working with rhizobium and a few other things at Washington State University. And I loved it. But at the same time, I noticed that it was a very lonely lifestyle. And I'm a pretty social guy and like to interact with individuals and connect with patients. And so I had a couple buddies that were going into medicine, talked to those folks that were going and becoming MDs and individuals becoming PharmDs, and just really liked the work-life balance that was offered through being a pharmacist. And I didn't particularly, I think the folks that are working at Walgreens and Walmart are doing an incredible job, especially right now. But that wasn't my idea. Absolutely. Wasn't my idea of what I wanted my career to be. I wanted to have a more intimate interaction with patients. And so that's when I discovered hospital pharmacy and clinic-based pharmacy, where I could have more one-on-one interactions with patients for longer periods of time and really deal with the product a little bit less.
Yeah. When you're doing that now in the midst of this pandemic, what are you telling people? I mean, obviously everyone is feeling afraid, and doctors are the heroes in this scenario, and pharmacists as well. Anyone in the medical field really is on the front lines of this. What are either some common questions you're getting either from patients or just average, citizens all the way up to healthcare people? What are people turning to Medication Review Incorporated for right now?
Yeah, so lots of resources, just trying to look and see what we currently have available when it comes to how are we treating patients that have COVID-19, in our current population base. So the Medication Review has over 30 pharmacists. We have 8 pharmacy management groups, meaning we have pharmacy directors that are part of our company. And so our knowledge base is spread across a decent sized region, which includes 6 states. And so we're really looking resources inside of the CDC. University of Washington has a antimicrobial stewardship program, and all of those big words just mean how do we use drugs to impact diseases that are in the tiny microbial form, bacteria and viruses.
Okay.
And we're looking to our colleagues to be able to give us some advice on how we're educating all of the folks in our hospitals and the patients that are using those hospitals and clinic services. But when it comes to helping family members and patients on a regular basis, it's really trying to dispel some of the rumors that are out there on how COVID is impacting society and redirecting people back to the CDC's websites on reliable sources of information.
Yeah. And is your website one of those places people can turn to? How are, obviously in talking to you, they're getting these rumors fixed, but how could people turn to that, online or virtually if that's an option?
Yeah, I think that using the CDC's website in general is fantastic. We're looking to put links up on our website for folks to be able to go to and to get some of those resources. But for the most part, all of our hospital and clinic partners, they're turfing a lot of those questions and sending folks to the CDC as well, or the Washington Department of Health, for them to get more information and insights on how they can keep themselves and their families safe. Obviously, right now with the governor's order to stay safe at home, that's the current advice being offered from our state, and we respect and adhere to that.
Yeah. Do you want to mention a little bit about, the medical field within Spokane itself? I mean, we all know that Sacred Heart Hospital is one of the first places to offer places for COVID patients way back in, I don't even know, what was that, January, February? Maybe just mention kind of what is the system in place like here? Anything, positive, negative, like what you see from your profession?
Yeah, so I think the community in Spokane, the medical community, is just incredible. We have some really skilled professionals from multiple universities that are going and working in our hospitals and clinics throughout the region. And some of the responses we've seen from infectious disease folks that are in and around Spokane area is awesome to see them just taking that burden on. We have went and toured a few facilities in the area to see how they're keeping folks safe, how they're preventing unnecessary access to patients and loved ones to make sure that the spread of this virus doesn't continue. And it's really humbling to see so many people give so much of their time and efforts in making sure everyone else around them is safe. And that's the special thing I think about our company, which is based in Spokane, and about the Spokane medical profession. They're just a lot of individuals that really care about the community and making sure everyone is being taken care of.
Yeah, that's amazing. And I'm sure right now, with obviously the attention that medical professionals are getting, as you all deserve, because like I mentioned, you're the heroes in all of this. Are you receiving any of that too? I mean, from your loved ones or from, extended family members? Like, what is kind of the atmosphere that you think, doctors and pharmaceutical companies are receiving right now? Because I'm sure it's a different feeling than what, is commonly felt.
Sure. I mean, I think there are lots of societal heroes going on right now that are inside of the medical profession and outside that are still continuing to let the world work as much as it possibly can with what's going on the outside. But that being said, when it comes to family members and folks reaching out to me, for the most part, Emma, it's just on resources and trying to find ways to make sure that they're doing what they can to stay safe, seeing if they're tracking the disease the way that I'm looking at it from an epidemiologic standpoint, and looking at our CDC and Department of Health resources to pull hospitalization stats and death stats, unfortunately, and number of cases confirmed and negative. So those pieces of information, if they're good or bad for folks to be able to focus on, that's to be determined, but it's information that's valuable and valid. And so that's a nice thing, that we do have those resources available that I can turn family and patients toward, so they can keep track of those things if they want to. But even more importantly is just providing a positive, outlook on things. And what we're currently experiencing inside of the healthcare world, there's a number of Facebook groups and LinkedIn groups that are really bonding, I think, inside of the healthcare realm. If it's nurses or pharmacists or doctors, everyone's really pulling down all of their borders and trying to support each other as much as possible. If that's in acquiring.
You do see the best of humanity in times like this, in the midst of chaos. There always, in my belief, is, a brighter side. And I think with social media, you're seeing that like with what you're saying, with doctors connecting or neighbors connecting in ways they never have before.
Yes, absolutely. No, I think that's being seen and it's being appreciated by everyone involved right now, and that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, great. Well, I know this is kind of a weird time to be interviewing and having all this conversation, but I'm really appreciative because you have obviously great recommendations and resources and facts. And I think that's what people are really in need of right now, is not hearing the rumors and just really listening to the truth. And I can tell you're obviously passionate about it. If you want to just kind of go with some closing words of advice you have to people that are wishing to hear some hope, or, you know, just anything that you feel like you want to share with anyone listening right now.
Yeah, I guess Emma, just a little bit of time. I'll tell you, our company is a group of pharmacists, you know, that really are trying to help folks as much as possible. And the services we offer, from telepharmacy services where we're remotely taking care of patients inside of hospitals that may be struggling through something like this, and some of the consulting services so the hospitals feel prepared for things along these lines, or any other pharmacy solutions. You know, and some of the other things that we're doing inside of clinics, that's a very similar setting that folks are trying to see a provider. And now we're offering the opportunity to be able to see a pharmacist, you know, within our current network.
Yeah.
All of those things are important to be able to utilize everyone in the healthcare team and to rely on each other to bring forward some of those facts and pieces of information that can be helpful to kind of weather the storm and hopefully get all of us back to a situation where we can enjoy time together, you know, in common spaces and an interview process that is you and I sitting across from a table and enjoying a cup of coffee as opposed to sitting in our home.
Yeah, that's great. And we really thank you for what you're doing and your team. And, you know, we will get through, and it's thanks to, like you said, people in medical fields and not. It's, you know, we're all in this together. And thank you once again, Kevin. We're excited that you were able to join us today, and I appreciate your time.
Hey, thank you, Emma. It was a pleasure.
Yeah, have a good one.
Here at River Ridge Hardware, we can match any color for you. So you need this color matched for your trim in your bathroom. Come to the color computer, stick it into the spectrometer, and allow the machine to do its thing, and it will match your trim exactly. So whether it was done by water damage or a young child, we can get you covered and get it matched. If you do need to have something so that it completely disappears, I can certainly help you with that one as well. Along with the spectrometer color matching capability that can match any competitor's paint color, we have a beautiful color palette that can help you start any new project. Give us a try.
After I got divorced, I had medical debt, credit card debt, and student loan debt. I was dealing with a lot of guilt. I found myself shopping to feel better. When my son was born, wanting to manage my finances was no longer a want, it was actually a need. STCU made that possible for me. I use the mobile app every single day. I'm able to color code all of my different savings accounts. And when you have nice things to look at, I think it brings you on a deeper level of motivation. I'm Kamika Love, the Budget Mom, and STCU is here for good.
This is Looms Day in Spokane. We got about 40 firefighters and their friends and family handing out 40,000 cups of water as the day goes by.
It's a very good opportunity to see the public and support them and help them out and cheer them on during Blooms Day.
It's one of the best things about Spokane is that we have these major events and the whole community comes together not just to participate, but to volunteer and show that they really care about our city and making our city look great.
This type of an event really is emblematic of Spokane because so many people get involved. We have 50,000 people probably running this race. Always has been a very huge event.
Right now we're at the corner of Broadway and Nettleton. It's the last water station before the finish, so people are pretty much dehydrated by the time they get to us. They really need our water.
The water stations are a vital part, especially on warm days like today. It's real important that we have the volunteers to help with that. Without the volunteers, Blooms Day wouldn't exist.
All up and down the course, there are people that are involved in this celebration. It really is a celebration of what Spokane's all about.
Thanks for watching. Ask the host a question, recommend a guest, or check out any of our other programs on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or SpokaneTalksMedia.com. Sponsored by Local 29 Firefighters Union, Well Dressed Walrus, and Homes for You.